Welcome back to a closer look. As a condition of membership of the Asia-Pacific Group on Money Laundering, PNG is undergoing a peer review process, commonly known as mutual evaluation, to determine its compliance with the International Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Terrorist Financing. The assessment that commenced on the 2nd and will end on the 13th of this month is being conducted by a team of experts within the Asia-Pacific Group on Money Laundering in Port Moresby. For PNG, this assessment had commenced in March this year and is the second review for the country. Let us find out what this means for Papua New Guinea as a country. Since its establishment in 1997, the Asia-Pacific Group on Money Laundering, or APG, has been growing in membership. From its original 13 founding member jurisdiction, it now consists of 42 members, making it the largest financial action task force-style regional body in the world, one of which Papua New Guinea is a member of. On joining the APG, members commit to a mutual peer review system to determine the levels of compliance with the International Anti-Money Laundering and Countering Financing of Terrorism standards.
So people will be wondering, why are we doing this? Well, the country, we've signed up to that APG accord, and we are required by the international bodies to comply with this requirements on anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing. And so the review is basically coming back to see what we've done in the last ME, the laws, the acts that we have put in place. We've basically met all the technical requirements. This time around is coming to look at the effectiveness of that. So it's critical. This review is critical. We want to show the APG that it's effective. We set out to do what we achieved, we said we were going to do. So from that perspective, this mutual evaluation is critical and it's important.
A mutual evaluation involves a team of experts drawn together from APG member jurisdictions, specifically trained and qualified in the Financial Action Task Force's assessment methodology. The team consists of legal experts, financial and regulatory experts, and law enforcement experts. The APG is currently in its third round of evaluations, having previously conducted 2 rounds since 1997. The third round commenced in 2014 under the Financial Action Task Force's revised 2012 standards and the 2013 methodology. The third round includes 2 components as follows. Technical compliance. A desk-based technical compliance analysis assesses compliance by an APG member with the specific requirements of each of the 40 Financial Action Task Force's recommendations. The technical compliance analysis is undertaken by an assessment team prior to an on-site visit of the member being evaluated. The second component being effectiveness analysis. An effectiveness analysis assesses the extent to which an APG member achieves a defined set of outcomes that are central to a proper functioning and effective anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism system with expected results based on the money laundering and terrorism financing risk profile of that jurisdiction. The effectiveness analysis is not just based on information exchanged with the assessment team. After the information is exchanged, the team will visit the member under evaluation, usually for 2 weeks, sometimes longer, and interview government and private sector officials to gain a comprehensive understanding of how the system is working. Private sector participation is central to gaining this understanding. During the 2 weeks in Port Moresby, the assessment team will have around 70 meetings with public and private sector entities to gain comprehensive understanding of how PNG's anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing regime works effectively in practice. Following a similar review in 2011, the PNG government's implementation of the standard recommendations was found to be non-compliant with 14 of the recommendations. As a result of these deficiencies, PNG was grey-listed by the Financial Action Task Force and APG in February 2014, which means that PNG was under increased monitoring by the Financial Action Task Force. A country coming into the grey list faces severe problems like a lack of trade opportunities, a downgrade of ratings, and a shrinking economy. It also affects the potential borrowings from the IMF and other global bodies. Following this grey listing, the PNG government was required to sign up to a public action plan and was given 18 months to rectify the deficiencies. Failure to do so would have resulted in PNG being blacklisted. Now, when a country is placed on the Financial Action Task Force blacklist, it is subject to economic sanctions by member countries. Such would have been devastating for any developing country. Hence, before it got to that, the PNG government took significant and high-level commitment to address being grey-listed. The PNG government took significant high-level commitment to address this before it got to that.
The country is not an island on its own. If we want our financial system to be effective, we're operating in a world that the rest of the world want to see how our financial system is effective. And it is through this mutual evaluation, exercise and process that gives that credibility for the Papua New Guinea's financial system.
Ensuring that Papua New Guinea is prepared for this peer review was the Secretary for Justice and Attorney General, Dr. Eric Kwa, who assured the country that a national coordinating team had been in place and preparing for the APG's mutual assessment.
There is a coordinating committee in place that's been in operation since 2015. So the Bank of Papua New Guinea and the Department of Justice co-chair the National Coordinating Committee. And what we have been doing on a regular basis since 2015 is to just monitor what our agencies have been doing. Those are basically the compliance agencies, those agencies who deal with money. And so we've had regular meetings over the years in preparation for this particular event that is happening today. Because of our first evaluation, this time we are ready. And we're familiar with the kinds of questions that our international evaluators are asking, and we know what kind of answers that we need to give. And so we are very much prepared in terms of us dealing with the mutual evaluation team at the moment.
The assessment will continue to July of next year, where PNG's mutual evaluation report will be presented to all Asia-Pacific member countries. Don't go away. When we return, we place a spotlight on the International Training Institute, an educational institution that has been contributing immensely in the development of our human resource.